the thing about these alligators, I tell you, they're more curious than anything. This camp that we're on, we got down there and there's a lake on there. It's a 30-acre lake, and we had seen alligators out on this lake before. And so once we got the lease, we were like, let's get in a boat and ride out there and kind of check these alligators out. And, we got in the boat and got to riding around, and those alligators had never been harassed on this lake and never been chased or hunted or anything. And we're tooling around on this lake, and man, they were swimming alongside the boat, 10 yards, 15 yards away, just like we weren't even there. Everybody's like, oh, this alligator is going to attack me or something like that. It's not like that at all. They'll sit there and watch you fish and just, hang out.
Swim up beside you on the boat.
They'll sit there, 20 yards away and just watch you.
Hey, welcome back to the Buck Junkie podcast. Today, Mikey, we got a special guest in with us here.
Special one today, brother.
Man, this is Mr. Craig Verhaga, the BBQ Ninja. If y'all running in barbecue circles, he's a well-known in the barbecue world. It's pretty much how we met.
Yep.
You go back as far as the U-Bonds barbecue, man. That's kind of Mississippi folks got to stick together in that barbecue world.
30 plus years in barbecue.
30 plus.
Been a while, man. Been around a while.
Yeah, but now you're with Royal Oak Charcoal, and you've been working for them for several years. I know we've been partnered up doing some stuff in their ambassador program, but Craig is an avid outdoorsman as well as a barbecue guy, kind of like us. And he hunts with a group of guys. They've been hunting down the Mississippi Delta for years. Y'all got a nice lease that y'all do, and y'all do a lot of not only like deer and duck hunting, which is what we love, but we brought you in today to talk more specifically about alligator hunting.
Yeah, I tell you, Malcolm, this camp that we're on, we got down there and there's a lake on there. It's a 30-acre lake and called Burn Lake. And we had seen alligators out on this lake before. And so once we got the lease, we were like, let's get in a boat and ride out there and kind of check these alligators out. And, we got in the boat and got to riding around, and those alligators had never been harassed on this lake and never been chased or hunted or anything. And we're tooling around on this lake, and man, they were swimming alongside the boat, 10 yards, 15 yards away, just like we weren't even there. So we were like, not going to be too hard to rustle these guys up, and hunt them. So
this is a private lake you're talking about. It's not open to the public.
Right. Yeah.
Do people fish in it or do anything recreationally during the year?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was fishing on it last weekend. And but the thing about these alligators, I tell you, they're more curious than anything. Everybody's like, oh, this alligator is going to attack me or something like that. It's not like that at all. They like to come out. They'll sit there and watch you fish and just, hang out.
Swim up beside you on the boat?
Yeah. They'll sit there, 20 yards away and just watch you. And
it don't make you nervous?
No. No, I haven't had this happen, but there's a couple of guys that fish on this lake that they've caught a fish, and as they're reeling it in, the alligator has like gone after the fish.
Yeah. I've had a snake do that. Shoot, a water snake, stole mine before.
Man, the good thing about having alligators on this lake, you don't see snakes. They eat the snakes on this lake, so very rarely do you see a snake on this lake.
So
I can handle that.
I'm not. Maybe you may shed some light on it. I know we hear about the Mississippi alligator season, and it seems to be gaining in popularity.
Yeah.
I know they're giving out more and more tags every year, so the alligator population is thriving in Mississippi.
It is.
But how long has Mississippi been an alligator hunting state? Do you know?
Ooh, that is a good question. I could probably, hey Siri, how long is but it's probably been close to 10 years. Well, it's probably been a little bit more than that. Probably in the 15-year range. I know we've been hunting them since, I believe it was 2018 when we, got our lease and started hunting them then. But it was fairly kind of new to them. They were still having these beginner classes, and they still do have these beginner classes. Thank goodness, because, when we first hooked an alligator, it was kind of like, everybody kind of went back to what you learned in class. And that first night we hooked an alligator, it was like, okay, we got an alligator. What do we do now? You know?
Yeah, you didn't have anybody. Did you have anybody that like knew what they were doing, had done it
No.
before? Y'all just all started.
No.
Decided we're going to go catch an alligator.
Right. We went out there, Malcolm, that first night in the boat, and we were, shining a light across the water because you get the reflection of the eyes. But I tell you, that first night we went out there, the bugs were so bad that they were drowning out the Q-beam.
Yeah,
that thick.
That thick. And so we were trying to turn them off and then we'd turn them back on and we'd go across. But we were just, we had given up. We were like, we can't see out here. If you can't see, you're not going to do any good. And so we were actually going in and we were on our way to take the boat out and be done for the night. And we saw, one swimming by the moonlight.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, there's one right there,
And,
yeah. And so, we clicked it on there long enough. And my buddy, John Gordon, he was with us and had the throw rod and he got up there, first throw, boom.
When you say throw rod now, what kind of equipment we talking about here?
That's what I want you to talk about. Yeah. Talk about the differences in the styles, because I know Mississippi has unique laws to the way you go alligator hunting, as opposed to Louisiana or I guess even Alabama, Texas. So talk a little bit about the states you've hunted them in and the different techniques y'all use, because me and Mikey, we're green to this.
Yeah. Well, we do. We do we go at night. We have a throw rod, which is like an ugly stick or something like that's accurate. It's got a good, flimsy tip on it. And you got a braid.
What are you looking at?
Yeah, you got a braided line, 100-pound braided line, and then you got a treble hook.
Yeah.
The throw rod, you'll have a smaller, treble hook with a weight on it.
Yeah.
So you can throw it and be pretty accurate with it.
The weight is attached to the treble hook, or is it like out in front of it somewhere?
There's a couple of ways. Okay. Yeah, you got those that are molded into the hook.
Yeah.
And then you got some that you can tie a line on the bottom
and just
of the hook.
Weight the back of the treble.
Then throw it that way.
That's just to get it down faster. When you throw over the gator, it'll sink and you can come back
start. And then once you feel it bump, that's when you set the hook in the alligator. And really that first rod and that first hook is just to get it in there, and that's kind of your guide, because I'm on I man the trolling motor on the front, and then I'm watching the line and where the gator is, and just following it with the boat, and then it'll go for a while, and you just follow it. But once it gets tired, it'll sink to the bottom. And when it sinks to the bottom, now we have deep sea fishing rods then with a little bigger hook. And of course, it can give leverage, but we also have a bigger treble hook with a throw rope on there that you can throw across the bottom and drag it.
Yeah.
And then, and what those do is just gives you more power, more leverage to pull it up. And but if you get a 11-foot alligator and it goes to the bottom, you can have all kinds of hooks in it, but it's not going to come up till it's, tired and
ready to come
up. Yeah. You're going to sit there a while.
How long are you, once you hook him, how long does it generally take? Does it matter by size, how long it takes them to tire out, or does it just depend on alligator to alligator?
Yeah, it kind of depends. What I have found is the 9-footers in that range, 9 to 10, they have more fight in them.
Yeah.
More pull and run and that kind of thing, where your bigger alligators are just your ones that are going to go to the bottom and sit there and kind of wait that out a little bit.
Similar to catfish.
Yeah. Very similar to meat, people too. Bigger guys, we're going to lay down. Yeah, we ain't
play dead weight.
You're right. Yeah.
All right, y'all got to get me. Y'all won't. I ain't going to do the work for you.
Same thing. But once you leverage them and you get them up and they hit that top, they're going to do that death roll.
Yeah.
Almost instantaneously.
When they come up, or when you get a hook in them?
When they come up.
How aggressive are they when you get that first hook in? Are they freaking out?
No, usually when it initially gets in them, it hits they'll do a tail, sling it and they'll start swimming.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a freak out then.
Mm-hmm.
But as they swim and they get tired, they'll start coming up a little bit more, and then they'll go down and then come up. And then when they hit that tired and go to the bottom is when, you get the boat over the top of them and start dragging to get the bigger hooks in them.
To me, it sounds like y'all are more alligator snagging or alligator fishing than actually going out and trying to shoot one right off.
Well, I kind of could describe it three ways. The snagging is really a lot of what we do. The alligator fishing is what they do more in Louisiana, and what we were doing in Texas. They hang lines, with bait on them. It could be old chicken or, some kind of rotten meat or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the other is the shooting.
Yeah.
Which in Mississippi, we can shoot them during the day with a high-powered rifle. You can't shoot that high-powered rifle at night, but you can shoot them during the day. Of course.
Is that on private land only, or is that?
You could do it public too.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure,
Check your regulations.
Yeah, check your regulations. I will say that before we go any further.
Tell them Craig said.
Yeah, no, I heard Craig on
Craig,
I heard it on Buck Junkies. Craig said.
Right. I'm gonna disclaim everything by check your regulations, laws first. But we didn't start out doing it that way, just simply because we were scared we wasn't gonna be able to find it, and worst thing,
if you shot him during the day.
Yeah,
I could see that. You shoot that gator and he goes down. What do you do then? Do you run up there like they do on Swamp People and hit your rope and try to drag it and bump?
You can, and you might get it and you might not.
Yeah.
But now we've got all this imaging,
live scope. Is that coming into factor in gator hunting, live scope?
It has. So we haven't used it.
I was going to say, you can see that gator on the bottom down there.
Right. But
man, that's like cheating right there.
Yeah, it's and nothing can hide underwater anymore. It is, that live scope's made some people that were okay fishermen
and the
some
great
real good fishermen. You don't have to look for them anymore. That's right. I've been out with some that have gone up to this big treetop, and just.
We don't want those little crappie. We want the bigger ones over there.
Or they'll scope it and there's no fish there. Let's go over, where I'm over there, I'm going to fish every
structure you got. Yeah.
Drop in there and work it. But no, that's in the private land tags, and you got the public land tags. So where
talk a little bit about the differences in those.
Yeah.
How do they determine how many tags y'all are going to get?
Right.
If you get a draw, if you get lucky enough.
Yeah. And that's the public is the draw system where you go in and you do an application.
I think it's in June.
Yeah.
In Mississippi is when you put in for it.
And you put in for it, and they actually have two different draws. They have an initial one, and I think from the tags that are not claimed from that first draw, they have another draw, but they have a set number that they're going to, give out. And then, you just got to get lucky. I mean, I know people that first time they ever put in got drawn. I know people that put in 7-8 years, never got drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then,
you got
of course,
any tips and tricks on where's the good, what region is best to put in to get a chance to get drawn?
Well,
I want to put in this year.
Yeah.
Mikey's son Will, he said he's going with me. He wants to put in.
Yeah.
We all going to try to get a gator tag.
Well, I know somewhere y'all can come and you don't have to have private tags.
So the tag system. So the way that works, certain set point time of the year, everybody can put their name in a hat, pick their region. And they may or may not get drawed. And if you do get drawed, you've got, how long is that the hunting season for the Gators in Mississippi on the draws?
Yeah, the public is, it's like 10 days.
Yeah, so it's pretty short.
Yeah, it's the last Friday in August. It starts at lunchtime on that, and it runs through the following, I believe, Sunday or maybe even Monday morning. But because I think you can hunt Sunday night. There again, check your rules and regulations on all of this, but
they are strict. They're going to be sitting there checking. They want every one of these gators. They want to know what's coming out because that's what's determining how many tags they get to give out the next year.
Right, and numbers and sizes and weights. I mean, you have to, once you harvest that alligator, you have to measure it. You have to measure the length. You have to measure the tail girth, and you have to measure the belly girth. And they don't make you weigh it because not everybody has the means to weigh an alligator.
Yeah.
But,
Now, this goes for public as well as private. Y'all still have to do all that part too.
You immediately tag it, and then you have to do the weight and not the weight, but the length and the belly and the tail girth to be able and put that on the tag and submit that. You do that through the computer. And
so what is a tag? When you get a tag, does it tell you what restrict you to size or anything like that?
Great question, Mikey. Because one tag consists of an alligator over 7 feet,
okay,
and one under 7 feet. So you actually get 2 alligators per tag. So and with us, the private land, going back to that, is based on water acreage, and so they estimate how many tags you get from the water acreage on your
private water acreage.
And so, and we get 2 tags for that, but we usually, it's like I was telling Malcolm in the truck earlier, we've gotten to the point now to where we're being very mindful of how many we take and the size we take and all that. 'Cause we want to manage them. We don't want to wipe them out.
Right.
And we've noticed that we put a nice little dent in that 30-acre lake since we started hunting them 8 years ago, where we go out there and see 20 on that lake. Now we go out there and see maybe 10.
Yeah.
And we're like, we better be a little more mindful of what we take here. So,
so do y'all usually harvest one above 7 and one above, one below, one above on y'all's place? You typically?
2 years ago, we did 1 and 1. This year we had some under 7 feet and we just caught and released those. And we didn't take a big alligator this year.
Yeah. So y'all didn't pull one off.
No. We saw one really nice size one that we would have kept, but he's a pretty smart guy. So he didn't come out and play with us.
That was my next question on here. How do you determine, just say on y'all's 30-acre lake property, do y'all kind of have like a trophy size you're looking for? Or do you pick out a specific gator? We're going to try to catch that one, or is it just go and see?
And that's a cool thing, having that lake like we do, because I actually start watching these alligators around March. Because in March, what they do is the water's still cold, so they come up on the bank to get the sun, and they'll go on the west bank to get the east sun. When the sun comes up, well, in the afternoons, they switch over, to the east bank because of the west sun going down. So we start watching them, or I know I do, then. So
you can have some targets, baby.
Yeah. We do. And I got a great story because we harvested one 2 years ago that we had named the Dark Knight. And this alligator, and he was just darker than the other alligators we had on the property. And we had actually hooked this alligator like 6 times. And
got off.
Yeah. And he had an area in this lake. This lake's down in a hole. And so the trees fall, as the bank is eroding, it falls in there. Well, he had an area that there was a bunch of fallen trees down there in that corner. So every time we hooked him, he hauled butt to that corner.
Gone to the timber.
Yeah. And as soon as he went down there, he swam through those limbs, and he had trees that he'd go under a log and come back up. And so you're sitting there looking at your line straight down, and he pops up, and he's way over here because
you can't get no leverage on him.
He's wrapped your line around something over here, and he's gone over here. Or he'll go through those limbs, and one of them will catch that hook and pull that hook out of him. And but 2 years ago, we had drought real bad. So the water was super low in this lake. So all the structure that he had and the limbs and trees to go through to hang you up was all up out of the water. And so we went the night before, opening night, went out there and I was, working the trolling motor. Well, I was bottoming out in spots I didn't, you don't ever bottom out at.
Yeah.
I was hitting some structure that I didn't even know was there. We know this lake well. And so we were riding side by sides the next day, and I said, I need to get the batteries out of the boat, to recharge those batteries. And I said, while we go down there, let's ride out on the lake so I can kind of get my bearings of where everything is and how this water is and stuff. And thank goodness I had a little, .22 in my boat. I mean, in my side-by-side, and I said, I'll just take that just in case. We got the poles in there, and we were out there looking, and man, we looked back, and this dude was trucking across the lake. This
Big Gator. Dark night.
Dark night. We were like, that's him, because he was the dominant. He didn't let nothing else down on that deep part of the lake. So we knew that was him.
Are they territorial like that? Those
Yeah,
big ones?
They are. And, so, I trucked it over there and I cut him off from going across the lake. Well, then he went to the bottom, and during the day we could see his bubbles.
Yeah.
Where he was going. So when we saw that, we started throwing the rods out there and the lines out there, and sure enough, we hooked him. Well, he took off towards that corner, and I think he realized going over there, he wasn't going, he didn't have nothing to go to.
Through out of the water.
So he wheeled back around and just kind of went back across the lake. Well, then he just kind of went to the bottom.
He got tired.
There. Got tired, yeah. And when that happened, we were like, "Oh yeah, we got him now."
So you could get more hooks in him at that point.
That's when we got the big throw line and drug the bottom and got it and took him. So
how long did that fight take on that big gator?
Man, it was total probably 45 minutes to an hour. It wasn't long. He once he got to that bottom and we got a couple of those big hooks in him and got some leverage on him, we knew that we were going to get him then.
Yeah.
So
how many men go with you typically when y'all go out?
It's usually 3 in the boat. 3. And we've got, and when you got 3 people know what they're doing, it's really cool because you got I'm usually in the front with the hook, and I mean the set hook and the throw rod, and then I'm controlling the trolling motor. And once that alligator goes down to the bottom, we got the guy kind of in the middle. He's got the deep sea rod, and then Todo's usually always in the back. He's got the big throw line and the big hook, and then that's when they start throwing out trying to get him. Hooked. And once he gets to the top, I mean, you pretty much you turn everything loose. Cause when he starts rolling, he's going, if you try not to turn it loose, he's going to break the tip off the pole, or he's going to pull, so you just basically let everything go. Cause once he does that death roll and he's done with that, they're spent. I mean, they release
that last bit of energy.
Yeah. All their energy's gone. And then after that happens, then, we've got a noose on the end of like a wire noose we put out there, and we put around his head, because then you got control of him.
Yeah.
And
almost like a snake catching stick or something like that.
Yeah.
But heavier duty, I guess.
Yeah. It's a metal cable.
Catch pole. Oh yeah. Okay. Just a cable.
Yeah. And then we put tape around its mouth, and thank goodness it's just something about getting this alligator up in the boat. I guess if you watched, Swamp People or something, and an alligator comes alive again when it's in the boat. I don't like them in the boat.
Yeah.
With me. So we don't have to get them in the boat. We can take them to the
time to the side.
So at what point can you actually dispatch them?
That once we get it,
you got to have a rope on them. You can't just shoot them with the hook, right?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, you can?
You can. At any point, you get it, in control. Because really, I'm telling you, once it does that roll, it's kind of over. But, once we get that noose on there, that's when we get it situated. And we like to use a sawed-off 410 to shoot in that you got that little spot. You got to hit that back of the head.
In Mississippi, I think I'm right about this. You can't just use like a 22. You got to use a shotgun caliber, right?
Right.
So that why y'all go with the 410?
Yeah, it is. And now we started out with a bang stick, and
which is explain what that is.
It's like a 45. It's a little cap on the end of a stick. Is you put a 45 bullet in there, and when you hit that top of that head, it shoots in there. And but what happened one night was we had 2 boats out there. We kind of had a trail boat and another boat, and that we hit it with that bang stick, and it ricocheted, and the people in that other boat heard that bullet whiz by their head.
Yeah.
And after that, We were done with the bang stick. We're no longer going to
Straight
use
410.
that. So that's when we went to the.
I'm guessing that's part of the legality of why they don't want you to use, because you see them on TV and they're just taking a 22 or 17 or anything and trying to hit that sweet spot on their head.
Yeah,
because it is a small spot that you actually have to shoot them to dispatch them, right?
Yeah, it's the size of a quarter.
Yeah,
and you got to hit it right. If you hit in front of it or behind it, that alligator's still going to be alive. It's still going to be able to get you, Mikey.
Yeah. What
we use, it's like 6-shot.
Just 6-shot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, it does the trick.
Are you the trigger man?
No, Tato usually in the back of the boat.
He's
the trigger man. He's the one that keeps the gun back there in the case. And
I thought that was unique even with your draw system in Mississippi. It's like, as long as you got one man that drawed the tag, you can take multiple boats with people in it. I think you just have to stay together, kind of like you were talking about the trail boat. You have to be within a certain distance of the man with the tag fishing for the alligator, right?
Well, the guy that usually gets our tag, he told me that they have made it easier to be able to transfer that tag over to somebody. It may just be there again. Check the rules and regulations with all of this, but he said they made it easier to sign that tag over to somebody. Like he wasn't able to go because he wasn't able to go a lot this year because he was harvesting soybeans.
That's the landowner.
Yeah,
that's who gets the tag.
That's who gets the tag, and so I told him, I said, hey, next year, if you can't go like you couldn't go this year, could you do that? And he said, yeah, they just made it easier to sign this tag over. So if he signs that tag over to me, then we'll go.
Yeah.
And laugh, but it's easy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's, be able to go out there and do that.
Well, that's cool. Cause I always wondered that, like if you got tags, you just, cause when you were saying that was a 10-day season there, well, by the time you got drawn, if you ain't already taken vacation or something like that, made plans, you may not be able to hunt but a day or two. And if you don't get your gator, now what?
Yeah.
Now, is the private season still just 10 days?
No, the private is, it just ended. And what's this, the 23rd or 24th or something? And it started the same time that last, I think, 29th of August or 30th of August.
So you get nearly a month.
Almost a month.
Of private hunting.
You get a longer season.
That'd work a little better for our schedule.
Yeah. We need to make plans to have y'all down.
How you going to handle that?
What?
That alligator hunting.
I'm going, Jack. I'm going. I want to hook into it.
Well, I think he do good.
I want to hook into it.
Yeah.
The one thing that I ain't crazy about is the daggum mosquitoes. Now, you just got to get in there with them.
Yeah.
Thermacell ain't going to help you out there when you can cut them like butter.
It has, I've been out there nights where they're absolutely horrible, and I've been out there nights where I ain't get bit by a mosquito one. It's really weird because some nights you got a good breeze going through there, and it really knocks them back. But that first night I was talking about, when there was so many bugs out there, it drowned it out. The Q beam, I haven't seen a night out there like that since then. It haven't been that bad since then.
You don't realize how bad those mosquitoes can get in stagnant areas like that. We ran into that fishing before. We couldn't even run the light on the boat to get down the river. It was so thick with daggone mosquitoes and stuff. I mean, you cut the lights on, you just eating them. You had to cut it off and ride for a little bit, cut it back like y'all was doing. It was on and off. Yeah, man. If you ain't never experienced that, it's pretty weird.
Y'all use any of the other light rigs, like the red or the green or anything that's different? No. Straight Q beam or white light?
Straight white light. Yeah.
So now, once y'all get that gator up to the boat and you get it secure and you get it dispatched, what's the next process?
Well, if it's in the middle of the night, a lot of times, we put it on ice, till the next day. And unlike the dark night, when we dispatched it, it was a 96-degree day. It was in the middle of the day. We didn't have, any ice or we didn't have anywhere to put it. We really wasn't expecting the alligator hunt. So I had to clean it immediately. So, but that's what we'll do the next day. Me and a couple guys will clean it and process all the meat off of it.
So I want you to go through that, because I have no idea how to clean an alligator.
That's what I was just fixing to ask
Yeah.
you. You know, I mean, because when you clean deer, they're hung up. I mean, is it down on the ground or you
lay it on a table, just like this table right here? Lay it out, and the way I do it is, I have one time done cut a hole in the leg and put the air pump in there.
Yeah.
Tried to,
and it works.
Separate the skin from the meat.
It works.
Yeah.
You just can't have any holes in it anywhere.
Time you get
it's
6 hooks in him with them treble
hooks.
hooks.
That's the thing. You get a bunch of treble holes in
see leaking.
Gonna leak out on
flat tire.
But
do you have to bleed them or anything?
No.
So you just go to skinning them basically.
And one thing they did with that dark night when we had to clean it immediately, and I tell this story too. When those big alligators have jowls on them. They're they're like volleyballs. How big they are. The little ones I cook at events, have have a little golf ball like that. But this one had like. And
how big was that dark night?
He was 11.5 feet.
That's a trophy gator.
Little around that. And but I was holding its jowl and I was cleaning, of course, the head and teeth and everything right there. Well, it had those nerves jumping that jowl, jumping in my hand, boy. You talk about somebody.
Is this good meat in those jowls?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's just clean, no fat, just very clean, neutral meat. When I talk about fat, that's the main thing about an alligator. It's going to have some fat in it, in the tail, and in the bottom muscle. It encapsulates the tenderloins. Well, that bottom tail muscle is going to have a fat layer in it. You've got to get that fat out of that alligator.
Bigger the gator, the more the fat.
Yeah,
that's what I'd make.
Yeah, and the reason being is it's not a rendering fat. It's not going to do like a hog and all that. It's going to render out of the meat, and it's just going to get jelly, like jelly, and it's going to get fishy,
funky,
super fishy.
Yeah,
and
that's where gator gets its bad rep for tasting fishy.
That's it. It's just. You got to take that time, and it does take some time to get that fat out of there. But once you get that fat out of there, it's a very neutral meat, so it's going to taste like the rub, the smoke, sauce, whatever you put on it.
So are you like filleting that out of them, or are you just kind of scraping that off, or how do you get the fat loose from the meat?
Well, you can see it. I mean, it's white. And where the meat's a little bit a white pink kind of deal, and
it looks like catfish meat, right?
Yeah, it does. And just a boning knife, and I even have a smaller blade knife, like a paring knife or something. I just get in there and I take it out. I just take that time to do that.
Are you skinning the whole animal first?
I cape it. From the risers, on the back.
Yeah.
It's got the risers that are higher.
The ridge.
And I cape it all the way down that ridge. And this film that we did with mossy oak, and I actually cleaned one and kind of showed the ridge and how you go down that. And I was telling you earlier, I usually get a box cutter with a razor blade because that hide on that alligator is so tough.
Yeah, it's like leather.
Yeah. And I just make an outline on both sides, and then I come across right at the neck and I start pulling it back and just pulling it back and slowly working it, all the way back until I get that top.
So that piece comes off in one big piece?
Yeah.
Top ridge?
Yeah. That top ridge, that top cape. And then you get down to the tail and you just work along the skin and the meat, and you just lay that tail open, and you get that tail skin off of there, because that tail has it's like a cross section bone in there.
Imagine like a T.
Like a T, yeah. And there's two muscles that run along the top and two that run along the bottom.
So it's almost like having 4 back straps on top, if you can imagine that.
It is. And you use that bone in that tail as a guide for your knife. You come down, and then that side bone right there, you just use, that knife and come down that side bone and just hold that whole muscle as you take it out.
So does it come off in one big piece?
You
end up with almost like a giant
back strap.
Back strap of the alligator.
Right.
So what's the best meat on
it? The inside tenderloins on that bottom tail, because those two muscles on that bottom tail, when you lay it open, it's almost got like a layer of silver skin that encapsulates and fat that encapsulates that tenderloin. And that tenderloin looks just like a pork tenderloin. I mean, it is lean. There's no fat in it. It is white meat, and it is really, really good. And the top tail is really, really good. The bottom tail, it's like a catfish. It sits on the bottom. It's got a little muddy, a little, flavor in it, but it's still.
What about the jowls? Is
the jowls is a clean white meat. It's not like a jowl of a hog that's got a bunch of fat in it.
Yeah,
it's very lean, very lean. And the legs, the front and back legs have good meat. That's dark meat.
Yeah, I've eaten the alligator legs before.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other body meat that you get off the animal, or is that the rest of it not really edible?
Across the top, there's two little tubes that run down the back that you can get a little bit out of. But, you've seen people that get alligator ribs or something like that. I mean, what I was told by the guy that taught me how to clean them, if you ever cut the belly, the stomach of that alligator, everything that acid from that belly touches is going to be ruined.
Oh, so you don't gut them at all, basically.
I leave that belly intact because after he told me that, he was like, you don't want to get it on you. You don't want it. It is so acidic that it's going to ruin anything it gets on. And so I just leave that belly intact.
So you try not to punch any organ or anything like that?
I'm careful when I go around those legs not to.
Well, that makes sense because, you think about how an alligator feeds. They're not chewing it up.
They swallow it whole.
They just break it in big pieces and swallowing it all.
Oh, there's no telling what you'd find in the stomach of one.
I've thought about that too, just out of curiosity.
What that thing's eating.
Yeah. What all it has eaten. But I tell you, it's been fun going across the country and cooking alligators and seeing, people's reactions to, you go to New York and you lay an alligator out on the table, how I did it. I do the flamethrower and
we're going to talk about all that.
Okay.
We're going to get into that.
I got you.
So how much meat do you yield, say, from just a 9-10 foot alligator?
Not a lot.
It's not as much as you think.
No.
Because these animals can weigh anywhere from, 250 to up to over 500-600 pounds, a big one. So what is that like the dart? What'd he weigh? Do you have any idea?
I don't. Probably in the 350, 400 range.
And you're going to yield about what off a gator that size?
Probably, I want to say 50 to 80 pounds of meat, something like that.
You lose a bunch.
You lose a bunch, because the belly is the main weight of that alligator. If you think about looking at one, it got little short legs, kind of like mine. But and then and then the big old belly, and then but that tail. The jowl and the legs is just where you go get that.
Do y'all freeze it? Like package it up, freeze it?
Yeah. And, different things with it, it's just like you see in some of this Cajun cooking, the gumbos and the jambalayas and the pastelas and things like that. It's anything you probably put fish in or something like that. It's good in.
Well, do you do anything with the hide or the head, or what do y'all do with what's left?
Yeah. Well, the dark night we got mounted. We did the hide and got it. We didn't get it tanned, but we got it salted and it's on the wall. And then we got the head. We did what you call the natural mount on it, so it actually looks like the alligator. It's not the white, or now they're doing all kind of different colors and stuff and all that. But we got it mounted.
Yeah, it made you boots.
I hadn't. Man, I tell you what, you start checking into getting those things tanned and the length of the process, and then specialize somebody to make boots or something. It gets expensive. So.
Can you sell that hide
to
somebody? I mean, because I know I see, if you've ever watched that, whatever it is, Swamp People or whatever, they've got markets down there where they're actually able to, and I know they're commercial fishermen too.
Right.
They're talking about how much money they make off of one alligator that's a large alligator, and stuff like that. Can you privately?
I haven't checked into that, but I would think that, having one person up in Mississippi with a hide off a 10-foot alligator is probably not worth their time when they sit down there in Louisiana and get
they're getting them from a farm.
That's right.
They're getting all that stuff from a farm or whatever.
And I've got
it's like any other game law. Like we can't
that's
sell
what I
deer
was
meat.
wondering
We
if
can't sell. You can't sell wild game. I bet you it falls under stipulations like that.
I was just over in Texas. They were like, "Hey, you want take some of this?" I was like, "No, I'm not taking anything."
Yeah,
I don't even want to take that chance. So I don't want nothing.
Before we get into the cooking part of it, I wanted you to talk a little bit about that style, the actual what'd you call it, catching or
the fishing
style.
Yeah. That's that's hanging lines. That's what you see on Swamp People. Whenever I cook an alligator, that's the first thing I'll ask. Hey, anybody seen Swamp People? And usually there's folks in the crowd. Yeah. I was like, well, that's not what we do in Mississippi.
They know all that.
Yeah, but they're doing it commercially. They're doing, that's how they make their living. So they got to catch as many as they can in a short amount of time. So once they hang that line out there with that rotten chicken, that alligator, once it smells it, can't resist it, and it's going to have that hook in its belly and it's not going anywhere. They're going to get that alligator most of the time, unless it pop a line or something. But,
so what was your experience doing that over there like?
It was cool. It's much different because, you got a line you're standing on the bank and you're pulling this alligator towards you, trying to get it up, and contrary to some people's belief, if that alligator gets on land, it's quick.
Yeah.
And
so you're tying the rope to a tree, running your hook up, suspending it on like a cane pole or something, where it's dangling, and
and they got it tied off on a piece of rebar or something that they've nailed down, and so it's not going to get away. But so I'm standing there. I don't know if we're getting into when I was in Texas part, so I'm on the bank, it's a little different what I'm used to. And, he's pulling the line towards it. So I know the alligator's
coming to you
towards us, and it was kind of funny. They hand me a pistol to shoot this alligator with. It was a 45 and just like one of these old Western looking pistols.
Oh yeah.
And, long nose. And I get this pistol and this is the small alligator. They had 3 of them on hook, and this was a small one. So I get this pistol and, it comes up and it's about a, 6-foot alligator. And of course you're trying to shoot something, that big around.
Yeah.
And I get this pistol out and I look down the barrel of this pistol and the sight was bent. So I'm looking down at a bent sight, with a pistol trying to hit a nickel. And we had to get a few shots before I was adjusting. It was shooting high, and I was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, and I shot the third alligator, which was the big one. He was 10 foot 1 inch, and I was standing on one of these grates that are over this pipe. So I was kind of had up and I had a little leverage, and he pulled it up and it came up right next to me, and I was over the top. So I was able to look at that curved sight and know that I need to shoot a little bit low and got a good shot on that one. But yeah, they're doing more of a management of those alligators because, they've got cattle and stuff on that property that they're making sure they protect. So they got to get those alligators off of there.
Will they get tags the same way for the property?
They do.
Yeah,
they do. I think I can't remember the exact number. I think it was like 20 or something they had to get off of the property.
So with those, I guess when you set your poles, it's just like a waiting game.
It is.
You go back and check them. Like you don't have to stay out there with them. You can let them soak overnight and check the next morning.
What is the bait like?
They
what did you have to bait the hook?
No. Actually, they put them out that night before, and I rolled in like 10 o'clock in the morning to the camp.
And you missed that set?
Yeah, I did. He put them out, the guy that does the alligator management, and I roll up and he's like, "Hey man, we got 3 alligators on lines right now. You ready to go?" And I'm like,
Hadn't even took a shot.
Yeah. Like, let me get through my coffee here, but he was like, we got to go get them, we got to get them off. So I was like, well, let me put some boots on. And, so next thing I know, we were darting out there because they weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
They had the hooks in their belly and but he didn't want them to drown or anything like that. He wanted to get them taken out of there before.
But they still have some fight in them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did.
I've seen them bait them hooks with that rotten chicken. I can tell you, I don't know if I want to be in that boat, man, because when they whoop that out and that junk's dripping everywhere, I'd be gagging.
And they just leave it outside, no 5-gallon bucket, just throw everything in there with it, let it get as rotten as it'll get, and that's what that alligator likes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, liver or something like that. It's got
special bait.
Ooh, yeah. You saw one episode where they did like marshmallows on there. I was like, what?
They really suck it out.
I guess they like marshmallows.
Probably looks like an egg to them. That's how we fool them coons. Put that little big marshmallow jumbo up there on it.
Works.
Uh-huh.
It works.
But after we, took those alligators, I, cleaned one on camera, the small one. And then I cooked one.
Now, do you have a preferred, when it comes to cooking one, what is your preferred size?
Well, when I do events, and just like we did one for the How to Barbecue Right YouTube page, I get those from Gamekeeper's Butchery because they need to be USDA approved. Naturally,
that's a farm raised gator.
Yeah, that's a farm raised alligator. Naturally, you can't take one out of the swamp.
Yeah,
ain't no telling what it's eating or what
to sell.
Yeah, to feed to the people and all that. So, and those alligators are usually about 50, 40 pounds, somewhere around there. And they're, 4 feet, 4 to
48
5 feet.
inches long.
Yeah.
Right in there.
Yeah. And I really like those sizes because I've gotten now to where I cook them on a sheet pan, like a full size sheet pan, and I just curl them up. That way, that alligator, it can get very awkward when you're trying to handle it. The tail's kind of flopping around, the legs are out here, the head's, kind of flopping around. So, when I first started cooking them, I was trying to get them on the grill like that, take them off the grill like that, and head would fall off. And so now that I get them on that sheet tray, I can, take them off, put it on.
Yeah.
And, it's very way to do it, no doubt. And then when you get done pulling all the meat, you just take a big old leaf bag and dump it all in there. And
so can we talk about the cooking process? Because now you don't have to be a gator hunter or to draw, tag, or anything to cook a gator. Where Craig's talking about, you can go online, they'll ship one right to your house.
Yeah.
Gamekeeper Butchery. I mean,
after
if they ain't sold out, because I think we sold them out.
Yeah.
When you start putting out videos about it, people start buying.
I don't think they were quite ready for that. They still talk about that. Yeah. But yeah, like the one we did on the How to Barbecue Right YouTube page, it's actually became pretty popular now all over, people cooking alligators and it's cool sometimes to see them cook our style.
Yeah.
You see
they watch that video.
Put that shrimp boil on there and do that and stuff that tail and all of that. But it's been cool me doing events, around with the alligators. I got 2 styles I do. The one I did on your YouTube page, I did the boudin cream cheese stuffing in the tail, and we put it on the hot dog bun called a redneck lobster roll.
Yeah.
And now I do one, and I did this for DU. It's going to be on DU Nation. It's a street taco where I stuff the tail with wild boar chorizo that we get from Gamekeeper's Butchery, and then at the end, I get a street taco, and I make like it's a lime cilantro slaw.
Is that the same slaw you did when you cooked for the foxhole shootout?
Yeah.
Y'all were doing wild boar tacos?
Mm-hmm.
That's an awesome slaw.
Yeah,
that little sauce that goes with it.
Right.
Amazing.
And then that green sauce.
Yes.
And I did recipes for both the slaw and the green sauce, but that green sauce, I actually picked that recipe up. I was out in Oregon, and one of my sponsored teams from Royal Oak, they were doing tacos out there, and I tasted that green sauce, and I was like, I got to have the recipe for it. And it's guacamole, it's cream cheese, it's cilantro, and it's a can of these sliced jalapenos and carrots.
Oh, I love that can.
Oh yeah.
I think I've seen you do a recipe with it.
Yeah. Use those.
I remember seeing that.
I like the whole ones or the sliced ones.
Yeah. The whole
carrots
ones
in it are good.
Yeah, the whole ones if you want it hotter because it still has the seeds in there.
Yeah.
But the sliced one, a lot of the seeds are out, and that, and let me try and think what else. Fresh limes, 2 scoops of granulated chicken bouillon goes in a blender, and you just blend that stuff.
The juice with the
out of
the
juice in there.
The whole can, the whole juice.
Yeah, because that gives that vinegar, in there, and man, that sauce right there.
Oh yeah, I've tried it.
So it's like it's like a creamy avocado, cilantro, spicy. Just it's really
all
good.
That, and all that's going on, and then you get the chorizo and alligator in there with texture of that slaw. It goes really good together. So those are my 2 main recipes or styles of alligator that I do. And
do you still brine them?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used some. It's a Philip Breed and LC Barbecue in Texas. He's got a chicken brine that I use, and I kind of trade that up, and use some different brines. But a turkey brine, chicken brine, something like that is what I like.
Get some flavor in that meat. Yeah. And how long do you let it overnight?
Yeah, overnight.
I know when we did it, we just dropped it down in the cooler with ice and used like a crab bowl. Basically, it was real simple, but man, it put some good flavor in it.
It did.
It's like a sponge, man. It'll soak up flavors because by itself, people say it's like frog legs or anything else tastes like chicken. Well, good gator meat kind of does have a texture like that. It's not, it's not exactly chicken, but it's kind of close.
Yeah,
and it's neutral. If you get all that fat off of it, you don't get any fishiness. It's just neutral tasting meat.
That is it.
A little denser than fish.
It is. It's in between chicken and fish.
Mm-hmm.
But doing it that way, I kind of had to doing events. If you do just the alligator and you start giving out, bites of alligator, you're only going to get about 40 servings out of that little alligator.
Because that little 4-footer,
not a whole lot of meat.
Yeah, you're lucky if you get 8, about as much meat as you get off a butt, I would imagine.
That's exactly right. And so by doing the hot dog bun and the taco, it makes me get about 100 servings of alligators.
So you giving more people a taste of alligator that way.
Yeah. And so they're eating alligator and somebody's not so intimidated by it, just looking at that alligator and eating a piece of that face. They're looking at, they're eating it in a hot dog bun, which you're familiar.
Still got the eyeballs on it.
You probably do it all the time, Mike. It probably don't bother you.
Have you ever ate a gator eyeball?
No, but I know people that have.
I've ate a hog eyeball.
Yeah. And I'm just not into eyeballs, man.
Yeah.
Thing, man.
There's better parts of that animal.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
That's like organs. I don't eat a lot of organs out of an animal. I prefer backstrap and
steak.
Good parts. But
how long does it take you typically to cook a 4-foot? That 48-inch alligator.
I've gotten to where I like to cook them a little bit hotter. I like to cook them in like 325, and they'll be ready in about 3 to 4 hours.
It's not a super long time.
No, it's not a super long time. And I put a temp gauge in that bottom tail where that tenderloin is, and I stick it in there. And when that hits like 140, 145, that's when it's ready. Now, when we cooked that one on your site, at that time I was thinking 165 was like doing a bird, like a chicken or a turkey or something like that. I've backed that down since then to 140, 145.
Get a little better texture.
Yeah, more like a pork loin.
Yeah.
And the texture's still there, the moisture's still in it, and it's done great. It's just, I just noticed cooking over the years that was a little better target temperature. So the next one we do on your site, we'll make sure everybody knows that's the temperature.
That's the temperature.
We go to. But it's really cool to have people see that and go through the eating of the alligator. I thought by now really that people were like, man,
we've seen it.
We don't, but that's why I'm actually working on a third style, to kind of rotate, 3 different kind of styles. Cause, at the Mossy Oak charity event, the Foxhole Shootout, for 2 years in a row, I did the taco. Well, this year I did the redneck lobster roll, kind of rotating them. So, the same people are there and not getting the same thing every time. But just still trying to grind out a third because it's kind of one of those. Once you get it out and you put on the show, I put the flamethrower on and glaze it up and everything. Yeah. Everybody's ready to eat that alligator right then.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have another step of a cooking process while people are waiting to eat it. I've thought of like an egg roll or something, but then you got to wrap egg rolls and then you got to have another fryer. You got to have another fry, and do all that, which is a lot more time. And so people down in the comments here or whatever, they give me some ideas.
So
give me some ideas.
With the bigger gators, and I know you're not cooking them whole. What are y'all doing with those? What are some of the things that that you've done?
I break some of them down. I always keep those tenderloins whole. I like to cook. You just lay those open and stuff them like that boudin stuffing that I do with the alligator.
Yeah.
Put that in there, wrap in bacon, smoke, cut them in little steaks, and wrap bacon around and grill it like a steak. But a lot of it's breaking down into smaller pieces and putting in different recipes and things like that.
Fry any of it? As I like.
Oh yeah,
it's really good.
Man, we fry a lot of it.
Yeah.
I
nuggets, baby.
Cut them in those nuggets, and I like to hit them with that tenderizing hammer one time, and I like to put fish breading on it.
Yeah,
I like this kind of breading.
That's what we did. We made alligator po' boys with it.
Yeah,
Mikey, when we soaked it in hot sauce and buttermilk, tenderized it a little bit,
hot sauce, buttermilk for a few hours, and then pulled it out, battered and fried them, man, and it was
cornmeal fish bread, and it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, it is, and it's just one of those things that kind of people can get over the intimidation of eating an alligator, and they get people that take the time to get that fat out of there.
Yeah,
then they're going to have a good bite of wild game.
A lot of it's shock factor. I mean, you get people that want to try it just because it's gator. You probably get a lot of people that don't want to. But I think once people try gator meat, they'll understand that it is it's good. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if going out and hunting them's for everybody. I mean,
it's probably not.
Well, you don't want it to be for some folks. We know.
It's a different style of hunting, and just listen to you talk about it, and there's some things that we've done that were similar to that, and it probably ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
Especially the elements.
Right.
I mean, that's right.
Right.
You got to be pretty tough skin to get out there in 100-degree weather and fight the mosquitoes and
snakes and everything else.
I mean, and knowing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be something as simple as having that throw rope wrapped around your hand and that alligator goes to the hole, and then you go.
Have y'all had any accidents or anything you want to talk about? Close call?
No, I tell you, and the folks that I hunt with, of course, rule number 1, stay in the boat.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
Don't fall out.
Don't fall out of the boat.
Well, when you was talking about them jokers watching y'all fishing, that was what I was.
Yeah.
They're sizing you up.
That's what I think they're doing.
They ain't being cool. They're sizing you up looking for an opportunity. It's a predator.
Yeah.
Can I eat that? That's all that gator's thinking is, can I eat it?
Well, I got a little something in that boat for him. If he wants to come on over there and get cocky, he can do that. But. And it's watching out for each other. It's like anything else in hunting. You're watching out for that guy. If he's got that throw rope and you see that thing looped around his foot or something, you're going to get back here and get that thing unlooped. And, somebody gets pulled hard and they're going forward. You're going to, put your hand there and kind of be there to catch them if anything happens. So we're good about that.
Well, besides gator hunting, what else do y'all do at y'all's camp?
We deer hunt.
Is that primarily?
Well, we primarily started to duck hunt.
Yeah.
And the lake across, because before we got in the camp, I've been going down there since I was in college, to that area. Mm-hmm. And the guy we lease from has been bringing his fraternity brothers from college there for the last 30 years. So we've been hunting down there that long before we actually got the lease. He had it leased to somebody else for a long time, and Todd Oglesby's his guy, and he's just a great guy. And he was like, "Man, I'm not going to take it out from him, But it got to where this guy couldn't up the lease, get the people together, and so when that happened is when he called us and said, "Hey, y'all still interested, in the place for a hunting club?" We were like, "Oh yeah, how quickly do you kind of Venmo,
Yeah.
we were definitely interested in. So we had already been hunting down there for that long and killed a lot of game down there for that long. But across from where our camp is, there's a lake called Lake Jackson, and we had killed hundreds of ducks on that lake. And but it's one of those lakes now that the moss and all is starting to take it over, and no ducks come to it anymore. And matter of fact, we're right on the river. We got a mile of land on the Mississippi River, on the Mississippi River side of the levee.
Oh,
so we're in the heart of it.
Yeah,
we just don't have the ducks that we once did. Now, we got plenty of wood ducks that stay local and all that, but we primarily wanted to have a duck camp.
Yeah.
But we also got some trophy deer.
Yeah, yeah.
And the first couple,
when you say levee,
it's
something you immediately think, oh,
yeah. And it's like you tell somebody about your place, say, yeah, we got a mile on the inside of the levee, and they're like, oh, you got land on the inside of
it? Yeah.
And but the first 2 years I was in this camp, now I didn't deer hunt. I was just a duck hunter. That's all I did. That's all I wanted to do. I was eating up with them.
Yeah.
And but we started, first year we had pretty good ducks. Well, the next year we really didn't have many ducks. So everybody in the camp was like going, I'm going deer hunting. And I'm like at the camp by myself. And I was like, this ain't going to work,
you
man.
Trying to hold out long as you could.
Yeah. I got to get out in the nature. And
broke down and went on.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and went out there and now, I'm in that. And really love the deer hunt. But we've squirrel hunted and done that, and so we've got other game. We're just now starting to get some turkeys. We've left them alone the last 3 or 4 years, but we've got a couple of nice groups. And the people around us are really good about the conservation and being smart about, the game they take, and they know these turkeys are around and they're laying off of them too. So
are y'all surrounded by big clubs?
No, we're not. We're just kind of private farms is what we're surrounded by. Yeah. And there's a pretty big club across the lake from us. Mm-hmm. And kind of breaks my heart. Those guys are new over there, and they got in that club, and they're clear cutting all this old cypress over there, man. I mean, like 100-year-old cypress trees, man. They're just like taking them out over there. But anyway, they bought the place and they own the land. They can do what they want to do, and that's probably one of the reasons they bought it, because they could get their money back on that
timber. Yeah.
On that timber. But
help y'all out, I guess.
Yeah.
Y'all ate up with hogs?
No.
That's good.
Again, knock on wood. Where we are, the Mississippi River comes down and it almost creates a horseshoe around where we are. This is my thoughts only. Theory of why we don't have hogs. And so we kind of blocked by the river on the north and the south and the west, and directly to our east is wildlife management area.
I'd be shocked if they didn't have one.
And so, in Highway 1.
I think they keep them at bay over there.
We're thinking they stay over there. They had to cross Highway 1. We don't think they want to cross Highway 1. So
y'all flood?
We do a little bit. Yeah, we got a few fields we leave some beans in, and some we leave corn in.
But the river doesn't stop y'all from hunting there?
It has. The years we've been in there, we've had 2 years that it's closed our deer season early. Because we are on that west side of Highway 1.
Yeah.
If it hits flood stage in Greenville, then we're closed. So, but we keep an eye on that, very close eye on that.
Well, good deal.
Yeah.
We what do y'all usually cook at camp when y'all are down there?
Before we get out of here,
before we get out of here, because when we talk cooking alligator, I know you don't cook alligator all the time, but what's one of your favorite things to cook at camp, or somebody else cooks at camp when you're down there at y'all's camp?
Well, we've got some traditions at my camp, and one of them is on Friday night we have pork steak Friday.
Pork steak
Friday.
There is a grocery store in Hollandale, Mississippi called the Stop and Shop, and they have fresh pork steaks in there all the time, and they're about a 1/4 inch thick. They're little thin pork steaks. And we got a guy, Edward Kosman, that is our pork steak chef. He's and he cooks a pork steak about any way you can imagine cooking a pork steak. I mean, sweet and sour pork steak. He's done pork steak piccata. He's done, you go through the shrimp thing.
Yeah,
everybody's got to do it. Shrimp po' boy. He's done pork steak po' boy.
Bubba Gump pork steak.
Yeah. I mean, so and it's just it's funny when he does the Asian style. I call him Edward Lee. And then but that's a Friday night tradition, and we eat pork steak. He puts them in a food in a crock pot and cooks them down with onion and brown gravy, serve it over rice, and we fry them sometimes, and then of course grilled's my favorite way.
Yeah,
because y'all probably agree. I know Malcolm agree with me. You roll of charcoal, but if you char that outside fat,
skin of fat,
yes,
that is the best bite in barbecue.
Perfect
to me.
It melts in your mouth.
It does.
You get crunchiness. It's not a burnt flavor.
No,
it's just caramelized.
Now, if you look at it, you go say, "Oh, that's burnt."
Yeah.
But once you eat it, you're gonna know.
It's so good.
To me, that's the best bite in barbecue. Now, on Sundays, I do what I call cowboy breakfast, which is a sausage and bacon gravy, biscuits, and that's just a Sunday. That goes back to my dad. My dad did that on Sundays growing up. He called it cowboy breakfast because he knew I'm the youngest of 5 boys. He knew if he said something about being a cowboy eating it, we were going to eat it.
Yeah.
And so he called it cowboy breakfast.
Yeah.
And we do that every Sunday. Yeah, it's a tradition. And I'm going to tell you another tradition, Mikey. I know you're going to like this.
All right.
We have chili cheese hot dogs.
Oh, yeah.
I got a buddy that bought one of those rollers.
Yeah.
Hot dog rollers.
Gas station hot dog?
Gas station roller. Man, we throw bratwurst and hot dogs on that, and we have chili cheese dogs with a little bit of that white onion over
Man,
the top.
ain't nothing better than that.
Yeah, please, man. I'm getting hungry. Anybody got one in town?
Yeah,
what time is it?
It's close to lunchtime. We finna have to go find something.
Oh, good.
Well, if anybody's got a pork steak around here, we're gonna go look.
Yeah, and then deer season, opening deer season. Whoever kills the first deer, we're gonna eat that backstrap that night.
Heck yeah, I can't wait. Deer season's coming up, so we got to get you down to our camp. We'll hang out this hunting season, and hopefully, maybe we can come see you during alligator season down there, man.
Yeah. Yeah, after this year, and he told me he could sign that tag over to me, I was like, I'm fixing to bring some of my boys down here. We're going to get after it.
We'll be tickled.
Yeah, well, Craig, we sure appreciate you stopping by and hanging out here, brother. You're welcome anytime.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me. And
tell folks where they can find you before we get out of here.
Yeah. My social media is at the BBQ Ninja, and that's Instagram, that's Facebook, and also on TikTok. And, as far as, I do marketing for Royal Oak Charcoal. So I'm, along with Malcolm, I'm on Royal Oak's social media a lot. And, this little trip I took, we did that with Ducks Unlimited, and we'll have some videos coming out cooking duck and alligator on DU Nation. And we'll be releasing, those dates when those things get edited. So
I can't wait to see those.
Yeah. So that was cool. And went to Spread Oaks Ranch in Texas. So thanks to Spread Oaks for having us and doing that too. So, but I tell you, it's awesome coming hanging out with you guys. That's for sure.
You.
Yeah.
Well, y'all can find us on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We should have some recipes coming out. Should be filtering out every week from now till we hope for a while. All through hunting season. Should have some videos for y'all on the farm that we're doing. If you got any questions or anything like that, y'all can catch us on Buck Junkies Outdoor Club Facebook page. Or you can email us at support@Buck Junkies. If y'all have any ideas on alligators, shoot them over to us. If you can't find Craig, we'll send them to Craig.
Yeah, we can get you in touch with Craig if you can't find him.
Man, I can't wait. I'm hoping to maybe one day be the first Buck Junkie ambassadors.
Hey, we can work that out.
Yeah, we can work that out.
Buck Junkie ambassador.
I'll come cheap. I promise. I just like to have a good time.
Well, all right. Well, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We'll be back next week to do it again. We gone.